Tonight we travel back to the late 18th century, a time of tall ships, roaring seas, and men who lived and died chasing the horizon. But among all the tales whispered in the taverns of Nassau and Port Royal, one story remains strangely forgotten. A story of a pirate crew who dared to celebrate Christmas in the most unexpected way. Settle in. The candles are lit, the rum is poured, and the waves are restless. This is the tale of the Christmas of the Red Horizon. The winter winds of 1796 swept across the Atlantic with a bitterness seldom felt in the Caribbean. On the deck of the Red Horizon, a weather-beaten brigantine famed for speed more than mercy, Captain Elias Thorne stood gripping the rail. His sharp eyes scanned the horizon, where heavy clouds rolled like mountains of ink. Thorne was no ordinary pirate. Whispers claimed he once served in the Royal Navy. Others believed he deserted from a Spanish treasure fleet. No one knew the truth, and he preferred it that way. Below deck, the crew muttered restlessly. Christmas approached, not that pirates had much use for holy days, but each man carried memories of home, of firesides, and familiar faces long lost to the sea. A sudden crash of thunder tore the sky apart. "Reef the sails!" Thorne barked, and the men scrambled. But even over the howl of the storm, something else echoed, a distant haunting chime, like silver bells drifting across the waves. The crew froze. Bells. Out here? Impossible. And yet the sound grew louder. Hook number 1. What were those bells? A warning? A lure? Or something far older than the sea itself? Within moments, the storm slammed into the ship, shoving the Red Horizon into chaos. Waves rose like living beasts, towering over the vessel. The helm spun wildly, ropes snapped, and the ship pitched downward into darkness. And then, light. A strange, soft glow broke through the storm. The bells rang again, clear as a church tower at dawn. The storm split apart in a sudden calm, and before the crew glimmered an island none had ever seen on a chart. An island draped in snow. Snow in the Caribbean was unthinkable, yet there it lay, shimmering beneath the moonlight, blanketing palm trees and rocky cliffs like sugar on a pastry. The crew stared in stunned silence. "Captain," murmured Boatswain Reddick, a scar-faced old salt, "has Neptune gone mad?" "Mad or merciful?" Thorne muttered. "We'll find out." They anchored in a gentle bay. The air was cold but soft, like a winter morning carried across miles of ocean. The bells continued, not eerie now, but inviting. On shore, they discovered a small settlement. Wooden huts, lanterns glowing warmly, smoke drifting from stone chimneys, and the smell, roasting meats, spices, fresh bread. "By the devil," whispered young sailor Finn O'Malley. "Have we stumbled on a miracle?" Hook number 2. A pirate crew, half-starved and storm-tossed, finding a Christmas village on an uncharted island. Coincidence? Or trap? A door opened. A tall woman with silver hair stepped out, dressed in simple woolen clothes. Her expression was kind, yet knowing. "Welcome, travelers," she said softly. "On this night, no soul, pirate or king, goes hungry." The men exchanged glances, unsure whether to trust her. But hunger defeated suspicion. She led them into a grand hall built of wood and coral stone. Inside, candles illuminated garlands of evergreen branches, wooden toys, woven ornaments, and hand-carved angels. Long tables overflowed with roasted boar, steaming potatoes, baked apples, and flagons of warm spiced rum. The crew sat, tentative at first, then devouring everything before them. Captain Thorne, however, watched carefully. Something about the woman unsettled him. When she approached, he asked quietly, "What is this place?" "A refuge," she answered. "A safe harbor for those the sea tries to take." "And the bells?" Her smile was sad. "Those who hear them are near death, or in need of a second chance." Thorne's stomach tightened. Had they died in the storm? Was this heaven? Or a test? As the feast continued, a musician struck up a fiddle, and the pirates, rough men hardened by years of bloodshed, found themselves laughing, singing, and swaying like boys at a winter fair. But as the night deepened, the woman placed a gentle hand on Thorne's shoulder. "Captain, come. There is something you must see." She led him outside to a cliff overlooking the moonlit sea. "You carry many burdens," she said, "and more regret than most men can bear." Thorne stiffened. "You know nothing of me." She raised a lantern, its glow illuminating carved stones along the cliff edge. Each stone bore a name, names of sailors, names of the lost, and among them, he felt his heart drop, his brother's name, Michael Thorne, a sailor who died years ago, or so the Navy claimed. "He passed through here," the woman said softly. "Not lost, Captain. Only waiting." Thorne swallowed hard. His voice trembled for the first time in years. "Why bring me here? Because tomorrow may never come unless you face what you fled." Hook number 3. What truth was Captain Thorne running from? And why did this strange island know his past? Thunder rumbled in the distance. The storm, they hadn't escaped it. It circled the island, waiting. At dawn, the crew awoke to find the storm tightening around the island like a serpent of black clouds. The silver-haired woman gathered the pirates in the hall. "Every man here carries something unresolved," she said. "This island grants clarity, but only for one night. At sunrise you must choose, return to the sea, or remain here, where sorrow does not follow. A paradise away from danger, a peaceful life, a chance to escape the hangman's noose and the weight of old sins. But there was a cost. Those who stayed could never leave." Hook number 4. A pirate's greatest treasure isn't gold, it's freedom. Would they give it up? One by one, men stepped forward, confessing their stories. Loves they abandoned, crimes they regretted, families they'd never see again. Some chose to stay, some chose redemption, some chose return. Finally, only Captain Thorne remained. "You fear the sea," the woman said, "but not because of storms, because of guilt." Thorne looked toward the carved stone bearing his brother's name. When he spoke, his voice was steady. "My men need me, and if Michael still lives, I will find him." The woman nodded. "Then you have chosen the harder path." She handed him a small brass compass, simple, old, but beautifully crafted. "It will guide you where your heart fears to look." As the sun rose, the island began to change. Snow melted into white sand. Huts faded into mist. The bells softened until they were nothing more than a memory carried on the wind. The pirates boarded the red horizon. Those who chose to stay remained on the shore, waving farewell. When the brigantine drifted away, the island shimmered like a mirage dissolving into the morning light. Within seconds, it was gone. Hook number 5. Had it ever existed at all? Or was it a gift from something beyond mortal understanding? The compass glowed faintly. Thorne set a new course, north-northwest. "Captain," asked Boatswain Reddick, "where are we headed?" "To finish what I ran from," Thorne replied, "and to find the truth about my brother." The sea opened before them, calm and golden in the dawn. Christmas morning, a day of forgiveness, a day of beginnings. The crew stood silently, each man changed in some way impossible to explain. And as the sails caught the wind, a final echo drifted across the water. The soft ring of distant bells. And so the red horizon sailed toward destiny, guided not by charts or stars, but by the weight of memory and the hope of redemption. Some say Captain Thorne found his brother. Others swear the island appears only to those who are one breath away from death. But no matter the truth, on stormy nights, sailors still claim they hear bells through the fog, gentle, distant, calling lost souls toward one final Christmas miracle.